Hey guys, it's Austin the Doctor here, and I'm gonna just say straight out, this episode was alright. It's like they do great setup episodes, but they do some boring ones. This one was not so bad, but it was boring. It wasn't as bad as the one I complained about a while ago, but it still wasn't better than the last episode. But anyways, so if you don't know, this is basically a big setup for the entire war that's about to happen between the, Empire and the Kingdom, basically. And we actually see the whole empire kind of talking about how Ainz is their ally to the kingdom, and he is requesting for him to give his land back near his Nazarick. And I'm like, okay, what's going on? Because Ainz got his land stolen by the kingdom? What? The king tells his people that Ainz never had his land near the kingdom or any of their parts, and we hear good old Strongoff, or the what's his name, Gazef, talk about how basically Ainz saved him, and he was kind of concerned with everyone, and all the nobles want to go to war with the Empire. They're all for it. They're war hungry, and Gazef is telling the nobles that the war won't end as easily as they think if Ainz is involved. Basically, you're going to get murdered if you go against him, kind of thing. And the nobles are laughing at Gazef, thinking he's crazy and everything. And the king basically says he will not hand his land over without a fight. And Gazef thinks the royal faction has gotten a lot stronger since, Jaladol, whatever his name is, Jazzledot, whatever his damn name is. I'm not going to try to pronounce it because I'm going to piss some people off, because people, they're very sensitive. But since they drove that noble out, and so at the end result, they decide to, go for war, and they delay the response by 2 months to prepare everything, which is a smart idea. And the prince heads out to, kill El Nix, but this is the weird part, because that mission changes, and apparently a noble is secretly selling information to the Empire about the kingdom. And I'm like, okay, so basically this is setting up for the kingdom to completely get wiped on the floor. They don't have a chance, and they don't think the Empire will invade from the same area again this time. And I don't know why, but that kind of gave me a little sense of they're probably going to do it, but they're going to have a lot more forces than they think. And we hear about how the Empire's army is massively bigger than the kingdom's, and how it's grown bigger. But I'm going to say something towards the end, because I watched till the end, and it was like, oh okay, kind of thing. But they don't think Ainz will change the tides of war, and I'm like, oh, you guys are very much underestimating him. And they label Ainz as having the strength of 5,000 soldiers. I'm like, keep thinking that. And the kingdom is going to send the prince to Carne village to gather info, this is where I'm like, what? Okay. And we see that Raven, I'm going to literally just Raven. I don't know why they had to add the extra thing, but is going to be leading the different units. He's basically kind of like the commander of this war. And the nobles don't want the prince on the battlefield because they fear that he's going to die. They don't feel that he has enough experience. And I understand what they're going for, because he's supposedly supposed to take over the kingdom after, his father dies or can't take it anymore. And the king actually wants to leave a good kingdom into his son's hands. And he thinks that he'll deliver a blow to the Empire to have them be at peace for a couple of years. And Raven wishes to retire his domain after the war for a couple months. I'm like, okay, I get that. And we see Gazef kind of apologize for not trusting Raven and all. I'm like, okay, I guess that's cool. And Gazef really thinks they shouldn't fight Ainz, because he knows the strength of Ainz, and I feel he kind of is going to cause a lot of morale to drop when the actual battle happens. And the adventurers are actually not allowed to participate in this fight, but certain ones that are adventurers serve under certain, lords or nobles are going to be able to fight, which I'm like, oh, okay. And we see Brian again. If you don't remember from season 1, he was fighting Shaltir. And Gazef was talking about the story with, Shaltir, and what happened with the vampires and, Momon. But Gazef actually tells this is skipped a little ahead with that, but let me go back and wind it back a little bit. Gazov actually tells Klein to sharpen his senses because he's going to be protecting the princess, and we hear, as I said, I skipped a little ahead, but we hear about Season 1 again, about Shaltir and Ainz, and how that went down, and Gazov really wishes to meet Momo, and I'm like, oh, you poor soul, don't worry, you'll meet him. You've met him before. Klein, by the way, will not change his color of his armor because the princess requested him not to, and it's kind of his honor. And Gazov he's kind of trying to convince him, but he realizes he shouldn't because that's kind of his pride thing. And Gazov actually tells Klein and Ryan that if they run into Ainz, they're good as gone. And they basically see that they need to be careful, and we cut towards, the Empire getting ready to sortie to go to, the war, and we see Ainz is actually going to participate in the battle, but only with he's going to be starting the signal to start the war with his magic, and Ainz actually asked if it's okay for him to have some of his soldiers come in, and let me tell you, this guy has a good amount of Death Knights coming in there, and I'm thinking, they're done. They're done. Screwed up there. I can't wait for the next episode. As I said, this episode was okay. I wish it could have been a little more, cooler. Yeah, we had the little nice moments with Raven and Gazov, Brian, and Klein, and I'm just like, okay, that's cool. But at the end, we see the prince is heading towards Carne Village with a good amount of troops, and basically it looks like he's going to wipe them out. And I'm like, oh, okay, so the prince is going to die, probably be captured, and I have a feeling Lupus is going to be there to kind of stop that all. As I said, I don't want to spoil stuff, nor do I care to hear about people saying what's going to happen, because if you do spoil stuff, do know that your comment's going to really be deleted, and I don't really care for people that spoil stuff, so there's your warning. But anyways, guys, what did you think of this episode? Was it cool? Was it okay? Could have they done better? Do you think they should take a break after this season? Because I personally do, because it's starting to get a little like, okay, we get it. Please take a break, regather yourself, and come out with a new hot season, because I still love Season 1 the most. What's your favorite season of Overlord? I'm curious. Tell me down in the comments below. But anyways, guys, this is Austin Doctor signing out. Hope you have a wonderful day. Peace.